Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the farm. I'm sure you cannot guess what we're doing today.
Surely it isn't the same thing we've been doing for the last week. Cutting soybeans? Maybe. Those darned worthless combine operators always ruin a perfect Instagram picture. We've got one head on the ground, reel all the way down, one head off the ground, reel all the way up. People are gonna think we have no idea what we're doing if we have them looking like that.
The S780 didn't fall apart yesterday. I guess that means it's fixed. Alliance Tractor ended up replacing that pump in there behind. Looks like we also got a free coating of rust preventer. Probably unavoidable considering they had to pull a hydraulic line off. And they also replaced that right there, which could not have been fun because it looks very heavy. It is pretty intuitive though that the hydrostatic pump and motor, which are solely responsible for driving the combine, would be the reason that the combine wouldn't drive.
We've got bigger fish to fry, or fries to fish. Oh darn it, I should have ate breakfast now that I think about it. This head cart right here has some personality, let's say, as it goes down the road. It's all wheel steer. It kind of gets out of whack. The front wheel starts moving, then the back wheel starts moving. It dogtails like crazy. So we're gonna try and adjust it somehow to see if we can road it a little bit more cautiously and less rambunctiously. Plus the beans are still kind of tough, so be another hour at least. Sun's shining, breeze is blowing.
Those are about 15 to 16%.
Oh, okay, now see how much play you got.
A lot still? Well, I got a lot to, well, that pin is...
Yeah, the pin is bad.
Completely?
Here, see?
Yeah, I see that.
See, it's all right in there.
Oh, it's worn out, yeah.
Well, they broke it and welded it and didn't get right.
Sometimes you gotta dig into it to see what's wrong. Too much play right now. This cart was used, and we knew that it had some problems. I broke that, welded a new one on, and it looks like it needs some more refining. Here is our other head cart trailer that probably has not been abused, and that's what it's supposed to look like. Time to cut a sample. Sound wet.
16 cents.
$15 to 16%. That was my guess earlier. Yeah. They're wet, but the sample's pretty clean. I found this tile hole last night with the grain cart, and I didn't see it first. Get in there. Don't want the fertilizer spreader to bite his tongue off. It's gonna be at least an hour before these beans cut. We're gonna take this combine in home and fuel it up. We really don't have anything better to do, and the home farm is just a mile and a half away. See how the 670's sitting. Pachoo! Magic trick to pull the key out. It's got 2/3 of a tank of fuel. We might as well just leave it out here and cut with it.
We did come to 110 with this fuel, with this combine.
That is true. The S780 has not been fueled up in like a week. It also spent 5 days doing nothing. Half of its movement was with a chain tied to it. This one's been cutting non-stop for the last week, and we fueled it up every couple days. That S780 really sucks down the fuel. It's actually kind of impressive. You lose track of how many acres it covers and just think, wow, this thing needs fueled up every day or day and a half. In reality, it's using less fuel per acre and covering more acres per day. Overall, though, the fuel usage at face value is much higher. Since I am a stupendous grain cart operator, tremendous farmhand, and a fantastic brother, I'm going to clean the windows on Katie's S670 using some John Deere Classic glass cleaner, the best in the business. It's like crack for combine windows, except for crack and windows should never be used in the same sentence. It's good stuff. This is the important window because that's where they load the grain cart. This is a self-serving job. All right, that's done. Not my finest work of art, although free is never perfect and perfect's never free. John Deere glass cleaner makes it a lot easier though, best in the business, guys. The premium alternative is just shattering your window and getting a new one. Don't recommend that.
The thirst has been quenched. Time to cut another sample.
about 15.8, 15.9 earlier. 15, so they've lost half a point in the last 30 minutes. Still running high 15s. We're gonna have to give it another hour. The green beans don't help our cause at all.
Couldn't have timed that any better. Both combines are running. Means the moisture's where we need it to be, or at least within a reasonable range.
Unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult to tell in our fields what areas need drainage. For those of you who let that joke go right over your head, anywhere there's a lot of grass, we probably didn't have a crop. We didn't have a crop, probably need to work on drainage. It's that simple. The field's finished, we're emptying the combines, unhooking the heads, gonna move down the road. We're having a problem right now deciding, do we try and squeeze the 50,000 on the grain cart on another semi, or do we split it into 2 loads, a semi and a 10-wheeler? It's purely an efficiency thing. Hopefully it would fit on 1 semi and we wouldn't have to take 2 trucks, although it's never a problem to have too much grain.
These Extendflex beans are massive. I think part of the reason they're yielding so well is their size. To the next field we go. Probably should have shut the grain cart off.
Oh well. On the road. Move back to the home turf. We're gonna work on these 3.9 beans some more. I would imagine they're still as tough as they were a couple days ago. The 670 and the 30-foot draper took an alternate route. They could have just followed us, but they went the long way.
No shortage of souvenirs.
These 35 XF1 Asgrow Extendflex beans are so heavy, I thought we were gonna have a lot more volume than we did. A lot more weight on the front than I realized I needed to because it fit on the truck without much squeezing at all. Very impressed with this, and we don't have to make any hard decisions. On to the next field. As is tradition, the elevator down in Yoga is having some sort of a problem, so they're really creating a bottleneck for us. Jeff literally turned around from there and is driving 25 miles to the north to go to a different elevator because he doesn't want to sit there for a couple hours. That being said, we've kind of entered a spot where we're still moving fields. We got a lot of time to spare. Katie and I are going to go get the other semi, move it back here closer to the home farm. There's really no reason to be in a hurry because the combines will be sitting if we're too aggressive. Put on my trucker cap. Tarp rip. Yeehaw.
What is this blasphemy? This ain't a real truck. That's an automatic transmission. Might as well park it in the barn.
This should make Jeff's life a little bit easier. Oh, beautiful day out. Just about to get back in the grain cart and Dad radioed me saying he needs some help on the combine. So I can get back in the pickup truck.
Got something good there. Got something good there. Wow. This the culprit?
While we were off moving the truck, Dad cut a feedlot off to the north. We had some Extendflex beans on. It is notoriously rocky, and it seems like it's taking its toll on the draper. Since the trucks are behind, it makes sense just to fix it now. 3 yards and 5 sickle sections later,
Combine's 100%.
The only thing that Troublesome Feedlot has had more of in its lifetime, other than rocks, is cattle manure. So it's a great place to check out some soybeans. We had a 38XF1 planted there, yielded 174 bushels total. It's a little over 2 acres, so I'd say it made over 80. We're not entirely sure on the acreage though, so I don't want to speak for certain. I'd say low 80s, maybe mid 80s. Pretty good. We're cutting these 3.9 Pioneer beans. They appear to be yielding fantastic out here on some dark, highly productive soil, and we haven't even got onto the high ground, which is where the good yields are going to be. The beans are testing 13%. They're dusty. It's perfect. We're hitting it hard. Man, do I love having 2 combines in the field. Oh, wow. Given how the first week of harvest went, this is not the level of productivity that I'm used to. We're actually at almost a perfect level of efficiency with our trucks to our combine, that ratio. The trailing truck on the rotation seems to always show up exactly when I'm coming to dump again. Combines haven't stopped. We're harvesting very high yielding beans, or at least high yielding for this year. I think they're in the upper 70s, if not lower 80s. What I'm gonna do right now is sacrifice straightforward efficiency. I'm parking the grain cart. What this is going to allow us to do, by me taking the truck to the elevator, because it's close to closing time, we can have more capacity here to put dry beans on tonight. So the combines are gonna be slow in the interim, but in the long term, we're gonna get more done tonight. That's what this is gonna allow us to do. And I get to be a trucker again. Trying to call home all of my change I spent on you, baby, so long. Yep, I'm talented.
These Pioneer 39 845 Extend beans are doing really well, popping right out of the pods. What I've noticed this year is that the greenest areas of the field, unless it was replant, has been the highest yielding by far. What has really been the X factor on our higher yielding soybean fields this year is the size of the seeds themselves. I don't have massive hands by any means, but those are very big beans. Probably a third larger than a lot of our other fields. So those Extend genetics, the Extend Flex look good too.
I'm actually pretty welcoming to a change in scenery for a little bit, although the seat in that grain cart is probably perfectly conformed to my butt. Beautiful evening to be a truck driver. No complaints here. There's Chris. We're here, Tate and Lyle Coal Station. No line at all. That's what I love to see. Oh, let's Listen to Jake brake. This truck sounds nice. Looks like now that the corn's drier, they're filling their outside temporary. They got a leg running out of the main pits to load it. They cover it with that big tarp. I think they do have some fan systems in there. They run some tubes underneath it, blow air through it. Sounds like it's being filled right now. You know, there's really some sanctity in not having to worry whether or not your transmission is going to go into gear. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but pretty nice. And I finally made it into the breeze. I was behind the big bins, there was no wind blowing. It's getting kind of warm in here, even with the windows down. Looks like we're up next though. And we're dumping. Give me my ticket, please. Oh, there's a combine. There's another combine. There's another combine. There's another combine over there. Can't really see him. That's Hilly Farms. There's another combine. Another combine. There's a combine. There's a combine. There's one more combine, and there's another combine. Looks like Dad's out scouting for tile holes. Probably not intentionally, but he might find one. My travels through the countryside have me pondering about a question with your combines. Do you leave the augers out, or do you fold them in? We fold the combine augers in because it seems like it's one less thing you can hit on something, like a power pull, for instance. Has it happened on our farm? Yes, actually very common decades ago for my dad or granddad to smack a power pull, or a mailbox. That's usually with the head though. Myself though, never done anything like it. I'm perfect, flawless, a gem, I guess you would say. Just kidding. I don't run the combine, so how could I smack the auger on something? If I did on my minuscule amount of time in the operator seat, be pretty impressive. Our radio communications have informed me that they left that field to the south because the beans were 13-ish%. They're hoping these are drier. This truck is not going to make it to the elevator. If we put wet beans on there, usually picks up 1 to 2% overnight. If they're 14, they may end up 15 or 16. So if these are 11 or 12, we could afford to put them on there because they'll only be 12 or 13%. We want to avoid getting docked at all costs. Not the end of the world, because you do lose money when they get too dry, but no one likes to pay dockage. That's simple. Now here's an interesting question. Have these rocks been sitting here on the bin longer than I've been alive? Possible. Looks like Mother Dearest is chauffeuring me to my grain cart. Thanks for the ride, Mom. What are these testing? That's one of my favorite things about this S780, barring that it's a more productive combine. The auger has maybe 2 foot more of height on it at the end. It's really a non-feature most of the time, unless we go over a dip in the ground or something. That S670 gets dangerously close to hitting the top of the grain cart. Not very much left. And hopefully it's quitting time. Don't get any ideas here, tractor. It's not quitting time yet. We got 2 more trucks to load. This one's for my kids. Wow, those beans have a very distinct smell. It's kind of like a mahogany.
Let's go get the cards.
Last load of the night. There is a considerable chance of a small rain in the early AM tomorrow. Because of that, we're going to pull everything in. If we were far away from home, we just tarp everything and close the hoppers on the combines. Since we're at the home field though, might as well go into the locker room. Don't know why I pulled the key out. Habit, I guess. Multi-million-dollar farming operation. No lights in the machine shed. Perplexing. Katie got it in 1 attempt. Took that 5. Getting the head carts out of the field. The combines are getting some fuel. And I'm about to sneeze. Told ya.
The big beast is getting some fuel. I would presume that she's thirsty, even though she stopped by this morning before we started cutting. The 670's already in the barn. We'll worry about it later. The heads are up here. Once the combine and the truck are moved, we'll move the heads right here. Sorry to break the news to you folks. I know you've just been having a blast watching this YouTube video, but that's gonna be it for the night. I appreciate you all tuning in. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And comment down below if you have any questions. You know I love talking about farming. Peace.